Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the Chief of Serial, and Sigillite of the FLG. And I'm Seth, the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. Kicker, buddy, how you been doing? You're in another new place.
Yes, I apologize. I am currently not in the studio with you, Seth. I am in Navajo Nation, northern Arizona.
You're literally on the road.
Yeah, I'm on the road. I decided instead of going east back home from Colorado, I decided to go west and just hang out in the desert for a little bit and
Kicker, I'm not super good with geography, but Louisiana is east of Denver, right?
Yeah, it's way east, and I just went the other direction just to go and have some fun. But I am going to be home, I promise, in the studio next week. So we have a solid mic and my green screen. I mean, not my green screen, my studio.
I believe your wife has put up a small bounty for you, and I'm sure the community could make sure you make it back to Louisiana by next week.
Yes, and I will be back, guys. But really important for those of you listening to our podcast, you should consider watching us live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can see my clean, okay, that's a lie, my totally unshaven, sunburnt face, and see Seth's wonderfully bald head, as well as hobby progress photos and other things, as well as be part of the chat, because that's where it's all happening. The chat helps determine the future of 40K as we take your advice and listen to your opinions. Seth, we should talk about stuff. We should talk about hobby progress, because I've gotten nothing, man. I've been on the road. I played some 40K against our buddy Joe.
You went to Rocky Mountain Open. That's hobby progress.
I went to Rocky Mountain
Open. You launched a new event.
We launched a new, tremendously successful, totally sold out event. It was amazing. I got to play Joe of War Games Live, but that was about the only hobby stuff other than work I was doing. But Seth, I know you have been very busy.
Very important news. Joe says that your win is an asterisk. Because he forgot that Space Marines get sticky objectives with troops.
We blah 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 blah. I'm gonna take my win.
Yeah, I think you. What are you guys? You guys are 1-1 right now, right?
We are 1-1, so our little rivalry will continue. But Joe did tell me that he was playing with his fun army while I was taking my most competitive army and had been practicing.
Space Wolves.
But he didn't bring like the most optimized Space Wolf list. He brought models that he like just wanted to play with. So yeah. But Seth, you have been busy, man. You have been busy hobbying and representing us.
So I said last week to the viewers, I was getting into 3D printing. So I got into it. I definitely got into it. I got a Saturn II and I started printing off. I started off simple with some of these orc dials. So I got wound counter dials. And then I really wanted to do like counts as Zagstruck. And so I found a great model from Station Forge. On paper looked amazing. And I did some measuring on the computer and I was like, he looks a little large, Kicker. And so I was like, I'll scale him down to about 60% of normal size and that should work. And this is what the model came out as size-wise. He's still a little big. So I went and found a different sculpt and printed that that's kind of themed off the vulture from Spider-Man. And that one was more appropriately sized. So that's how this one came out on the next slide here. Maybe. I can't tell if it popped up or not.
It's coming.
There we go. He's
perfect.
The vulture orc, thank you. And then, so I'm in the middle of all this, and I had to submit a list on Saturday for an event. And I was messaging back and forth with Stephen Box about what my list was. And he's like, man, Seth, I really think you need to put a unit of truck knobs in with all power claws for your list. And I'm like, all right, I got that. I can do that. And I went to pull the models out of the box and I went, we only got a 5 knobs with power claws and I need 10. And I was like, all right. So I scrounged around the old bit box and found a few more claws and there we go. Put 5 more orcs with power claws there for my knobs. So got those done. So I got a full unit of 10. So I just had a little bit of hobby progress, to make up for my hosts, maybe my co-host not doing so much. Nicky D, the man.
Accepted, man.
Oh, okay. Oh, now we're challenge accepted. Nicky D, the man behind the scenes.
I'm gonna paint a shit ton. I got so many models I'm ready to paint, man. As soon as I get home, you're gonna see 3 heavy weapon squads hitting the deck. But Nicky D, what have you done, man?
It's all right. I'll fill you in, chat. Nicky was going on and on about how his Nurglings did great for him at the RTT, even the red ones, even though I disagree with the red ones. And he's been working on the beautiful Demon Prince, and he's very happy with it. And I'm just kind of vamping for him as he figures out
Yeah,
his audio.
All
well,
right.
guys in
How
chat,
about now?
is it,
I think.
okay, yeah,
I
can
think
we
they can hear
you?
you now. You got the
All
bouncing
right.
line. People can hear you.
Yeah,
Chat,
we're good.
I'm curious what chat thinks. Are red Nurglings kind of like inappropriate? Are they just blasphemy? I mean, Nurglings should be green. I don't know what the terminology is here. It feels like you should not have.
Buddy, I have been searching for a lot of STL files, and I can tell you there are a lot more inappropriate 40K models out there than red Nurglings. Okay, I'm just
You keep your
you what
your
because you
treaty pretty
policies,
tough to yourself.
but there are definitely a lot more inappropriate things than red Nurglings. Okay.
Okay.
That is true.
Well,
So, anyways, you can see on the screen for those watching, as Kicker said, you should be watching. But if you're not watching, I've got a Zinch Demon Prince now. So the latest thing to add to the army, a little bit of speed, a little bit of psychic power, a little bit of strength with some AP3, 3 damage attack. So more to come in the Chaos way of things going forward. So I'll have more to show coming up here, but that's all for now. So Seth, Kicker, back to you
All
guys.
right. Kicker, it's time to get into the industry news, and
yeah.
you are going to have a flawless read through of this week, right?
Yeah, as I read my notes on my tiny cell phone screen. But guys, we're going to keep it really fast and short for this particular new product release, news cycle, because we have a legend of amongst men that we want to bring in a little bit. So let's go with can't speak. Let's jump right into this, guys. Yeah, no, I can't speak. It's the desert. It's dry out here. I'm thirsty. All right.
Tea!
I need more tea. Yes, Seth, I do need to drink more tea, guys. Quite a few releases coming up. These are really the big. We got a big battle forces that have been teased. These are the new. Come on, we got a. Come on, battle forces. We got a Thousand Suns battle force, right, Seth? Come on.
Yeah, these are like in the boarding actions.
Boarding action. That's it. The boarding action. Sorry, boarding action. But basically, new star collecting sets. So we've got a few of those coming up, which are nice and new and exciting. But way more big stuff coming for Age of Sigmar. We've got the Blades of Khorne. We've got the Head of Knights of Slaanesh. We've got a Contemptor Dreadnought. More stuff. Look at this beautiful miniature. Can you describe this miniature first, Seth? Because my screen is tiny.
It is a Khorne devotee, and she's stepping up onto some like almost like raised platform, like a plinth. She's got a big staff, looking really cool. Now, Kicker, I don't know if you, since you were on the road, got a chance to see the accidentally leaked early ship Dante Primaris model.
Oh wait, what? Are you serious? No, wait. Let's see this. Do we have a photo?
Chat's talking about it. I don't think Nicky's got a photo of it yet.
I have not seen it, and honestly,
it is definitely making the rounds on the internet. You can go check all the rumor monger pages. We're not posting the image anywhere, but you can certainly find it. There is a Primaris Dante out there now, and he has some very amazing feet. I'm also a little concerned by the people in chat that are obsessed with his feet. It's a little concerning, guys. Think about that for a minute. But anyway, there is
we do have to talk about something that was released officially. It's extremely exciting. It's a NID looking at a Terminator. Come on, you saw the little teaser video,
the teaser trailer. It's clearly a Tyranid face and his eye, and in the eye you could see the reflected Terminator helmet.
Oh my god!
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, 10th edition!" Yes. You know what I'm like? What do you think when you think of Tyranids and Terminators? What do you think?
Tyranids and Terminators. Boarding. Oh, the
Space Hulk.
Come on, what's Space Hulk? That's a Space Hulk.
Hulk. Yeah, I'm thinking some form of Space Hulk. Maybe Space Hulk as a boarding action. Game.
Or do you think it's a kill team? One of those kill team boarding action. You know what I'm talking about? The kill team sets, because that could be a great kill team set right there. Some Terminators.
Certainly could.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's very exciting because this could be new Terminators, right? I mean, the old Terminators are great, but new Terminators could be greater. Is that a word? That's a word.
Yes, they could be more terminating. Terminate. They could be Terminator or I don't know.
We're gonna hold off on our jank of the week unless you got something really fast, Seth. Do you have a jank of the week for the week?
I didn't, but Nicky did. If we needed one.
Yeah, I'll just.
Yeah, let's do it.
So again, I played an RTT this weekend, and folks, they're relatively low in the meta representation. But if you have not yet played against an AdMech force optimized for combat, watch out.
They are
They've got it's like they've got everything. I think the way that I think about it, and Seth, maybe you can confirm. I mean, it's almost like between the different tools and relics and stratagems, it's almost like they've got Howling Banshee units potentially everywhere, where there's just
These are
Admech. Yes, you've got
Yeah.
fight last relics
And
in there. 6s to wounds to mortal wounds, and there's I think no
they
limit to how
can
many they can do.
they can move fast. They can be Lucius and be like ignoring AP 1 and 2. They can have trans human physiology. They can
It's
have
a
a lot.
lot. It's a
They
lot.
can
And
have
when you're facing mid board with 3 objectives and you see 3 blocks of Admech behind ruins that can have or do have some of these buffs, man, it puts you in quite a pickle trying to figure out what you're gonna do. And guess what? That clock is ticking, folks. So whatever you're gonna do it and do it fast, because that's the way you're gonna beat the Admech. Now, they can go down once you do get into them, but you got to pick your combats
They're
carefully.
not they're not easily killed. We'll say that. So, kicker. Everyone's been asking about this Sisters terrain. They were seeing it Cherokee and now at Rocky Mountain.
I know you guys want it. I'm told next week we should have it up. If not for immediate sales, you go for pre-order. We've got a little bit of a backlog. We were down a laser at our factory in Vegas, but we are making these Sisters terrain sets as you know them. You'll love them. You've seen them on Joe's stream. You'll see them at BAO and ACO as well. They will be available for order. We're probably going to do them in batches though, so that we don't have people having to wait forever. So we're probably going to do just a batch at once. First come, first serve, and then wait till we fulfill those orders before we release another batch. We should also talk about the Rocky Mountain Open, just the tournament as a whole. That event was extremely well received. Everyone loved it. The community there, the vibe was insane. The reason the event happened was because of the community. Like both the Star Wars Legion and the 40K community came together to make this event happen.
Was it an amazing event because you won against Joe? Is that what makes it amazing?
That is part of the reason. I do have a slight ego, and I do enjoy winning occasionally. But honestly, the food trucks were legit. We had some amazing. Denver's a food truck town, so we had great food. The how do I say this? The vibe of the entire tournament was so chill, and I don't think that has anything to do with the fact that there's a lot of CBD and weed in Colorado. I think that it was just that it was really chill.
Bite around that particular piece, but you went right in.
Yeah, maybe I didn't go there, but no. Honestly, though, man, everyone was so relaxed and had a good time. We did have a few people travel in, but it was a lot of people from that drove in from the front range. So from Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Kansas. But yeah, totally a cool crowd. We did have a really cool winner for the best general for 40K. That was a local player, which is always kind of cool when a local, from Denver wins that tournament. That was Michael Mann, right?
Now I think personally, Michael, we need to rename him from Michael Mann to Da Man.
The man, I'm cool with that. The man.
Yep.
He, you know what? And I think that this guy's one of the top 50 ITC players, but he's never actually won a GT. So this is really exciting for him to go in here and win a tournament on his home turf. Yeah, best painter was Aaron Bear. Paragon went to Scott.
Hold on, I got pictures of all the best painted stuff.
We got pictures. And do you see those trophies? Those trophies are epic.
Trophies are legit.
Gaming is stepping up the game when it comes to the trophies.
So. Yeah, but Aaron Blair's army was Sisters and Knights, and so he's got like freehand work on all the shields. But if you go to the Knight picture, which I think is 2 ahead here, that is actually a Sisters converted Knight. The cockpit, it actually has like a sister statue on it. So it was really cool. He said he wasn't even expecting to win it or compete for best painted. So it was really cool to see him win. So that was good. And then Scott Rumpel, you said run Paragon, which is overall. Yeah. Scott is a longtime supporter of Joe there at War Games Live. I think every event that Joe has been at that Scott has been to, Scott has been on stream. So you get to see a lot of him if you want to see that. And they actually did a great interview with Scott that Joe put up in between rounds. So that was kind of cool to see him. And then he ended up winning best overall, which was really cool to see. So, kicker. What other fun stuff happened there?
We did the faction specialist pins that we did at Cherokee, and people were so stoked. Cherokee was the first place we launched the faction specialist, and then at Rocky Mountain Open, everyone was really, really excited. And yeah, I don't know. It was cool to see people that were just like that made their entire event was to become an official Frontline Gaming faction specialist.
Sweet.
I don't think that there's I do want to say, guys, that we had two judges, Thomas, which is one of the Frontline Gaming staff judges, and
Mhm.
Colin Kay, a regional Denver judge.
Mhm.
Those guys came and just did an amazing job. It was a full house, and those guys didn't stop walking around. They rocked and rolled. And of course, Brandon Roddy, head of the Denver 40K Fight Club, he was the boots on the ground from the beginning to help make this event happen. And a mad applause to
thank
this
you.
guy. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, thank you very much,
legend.
Brandon. That's a lot of work, man.
We should touch base really fast. BAO is live. Tickets are selling. BAO is a smaller venue. So when that sells out, we're stuck. No more space. We are trying to add in Song of Ice and Fire. Those tickets, if we can add those tickets based off of ticket sales for 40K as of right now, we have to see if there's enough space for a Song of Ice and Fire. They will go live at the end of next week. And ACO is selling fast. This is going to ACO will by far be our largest event outside of LVO. Everything from Age of Sigmar to 40K, insane. Kill Team is being added in next week as well. So definitely get your ACO tickets.
I did actually see some folks posting up on the community page. Do we know if Song of Ice and Fire is going to be at ACO?
Okay, we are trying, and we needed a TO because we don't have a TO on the East Coast for all the Northeast. But somebody just stood up after that post on our community Facebook group. By the way, check it out. Check out the Frontline Gaming Facebook community group. That really helps. That's a really nice place to voice your thoughts.
You're saying you just got a guy step up and volunteer to be a TO?
We just got a guy that stood up. I got to make sure, we're,
everything checks out.
I want to make sure we're, he's happy, and also we get the nod of approval from CMON, the manufacturers, because technically they need to approve all judges. But yeah, I don't think it will be a problem.
All right, so keep your eyes peeled there.
Seth, I think that we need to jump into our brand new Signal Shorts, where Nicky D has got a question for you.
We're skipping an important segment. The entertainment news segment. Don't forget, folks. This is this episode, and then two more are what we're going to have on all platforms. But starting in April, you'll be seeing. Our stream is paused.
I know what that is.
Are we still up, Nicky? Yeah, we're good. Never mind. Ignore me, folks. There was just technical difficulties on my end. But starting in April, we will be streaming on YouTube only. You can still get the episode after the fact on your podcast aggregators, and you can always come to YouTube and watch the recording afterwards. I have already seen some names in chat migrate over from Twitch to YouTube. Shout out to Disflux for doing that. So just a little reminder for everyone. Do that. And if you want to get any of the products or event tickets, don't forget to check out tinyurl.com/FLG signals, and that will get you over to the Frontline Gaming web store, and it'll let them know that we sent you there. So we would very much appreciate that. But now for the Signal Short Kicker. Now you can
Short. Because I'm basically illiterate right now at this point in time and day and lack of sleep, we're going to bring in Nicky D to ask you a very specific question, Seth, and you'll have 30 seconds or less to...
Wait, who's putting up the timer this week if I'm the one answering the question?
I'm just going to go off my clock here. I'm ready.
Okay, all right, you can yell at me.
Yeah, our kicker might do, he might do hands on the screen, fingers going 1, 2, 3. Anyways,
I got my
Seth.
Here we go. Ready?
There we go.
Whoa.
Seth, what do you wish you knew about 3D printing before you started it this week?
Okay, so 3D printing as a whole has this kind of air around it that it's really complicated and super complex, and you're going to mess up a lot. And honestly, I had a pretty smooth go with it. It was less complicated than I thought. If you're willing to pay for good quality components, printers, and software. So like I got a Saturn II, I got the Elegoo resin, I got Lychee Pro, and so far everything's been going good. Like my first test print came out just fine. So.
That's the buzzer. You got it.
All right. So I mean, you can certainly do things cheaper, and you can do things a little more trial and error, but so far so good. Everything's been running well for me. So if you're thinking about it, it's been a lot of fun. Feel free to jump in.
Can I have a follow-up question real fast?
Yes.
Are you, for lack of better words, technically savvy? Like, is this something like for a Luddite?
I do know how to run a computer, but really, it's not so bad. Like once you have the software and you get the STL, it's drag and drop into the program. A lot of the stuff in the program is automated, and then the machine itself is pretty simple to run. I watched a few YouTube videos on how to clean and maintain it. so far so good. Now, ask me again in a month, and I might be like pulling what little hair I have left out, telling you about how now everything's gone to crap. But for now, it's been going pretty good. And kicker, I just so happened to have subscribed to a Patreon where they have some really cool orc models they give out every month, but they also have some cool like Deathcore of Krieg models they give out every month.
You know what to get me for my birthday.
Yep.
September.
But
Seth,
let's quit stalling.
yeah,
I think it's time for our guest to come on board.
Awesome.
So, Nicky D, if you'd like to bring in our illustrious guest this week, this is a little known guy that some of you might have heard of before. It's Steve Joll. Welcome on, Steve.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? We all well?
We are doing well. How are you, Steve?
I'm great. I'm exhausted, but I'm great. I heard you talking hobby progress. I'm trying to organize an event for this weekend in New Zealand and at the same time get my army painted because I'm playing in the event this weekend in New Zealand.
You're pulling
And
double
then in
duty.
3 weeks,
All right.
we've got a Teams event that we're also trying to organize.
All right.
So we're getting that up and running. So there's a lot going on, man. And then on top of that, kids and life and work and stuff.
And you're running what army for all this? You're
Space Wolf.
Well,
Can't remember.
I heard that they're so garbage right now. People are off them right now. I'm running Space Wolves, and yes, I have 30 melters, which I've hacked together from. I got all these little, yeah. So I took all these every single bolt gun I could find from every sprue, and chopped a little wedge in it, and then put like a little melter bit into it. So I've made all these melter arms, which I'm going to have to tear off again, I guess, in a month, whenever the update comes out.
Just yell at Brad Chester and tell him to quit playing the army so that they don't nerf it.
Yeah. Him and Scott Rumpel. Scott did super well over the weekend.
Scott, but that's the thing. Scott's been on Space Wolves forever, so he's a long time Space Wolves player.
Scott and Hunter, of course, and Jaime and
I don't know, man. Jaime was playing Nids for the longest time.
He's been playing Nids for a little while. Yeah,
Is he gonna come back to him?
Bam, of course. Bam from
Yes.
He's been a wolf player forever and is number one in his region. So yeah, there's a lot of good wolf players for people like me and I'm not a good wolf player, but there's a lot of people for us to draw inspiration from and to learn from, which is super cool, right?
Yeah. Now, Steve, we love having you on, but we didn't have you on tonight to talk about wolves. You've got some projects that are kind of maybe getting revamped.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. On top of running events or helping to run events and painting armies and trying to get games in and all of that sort of stuff, we've got a little podcast thing. So. I know that you guys have addressed this already. There have been changes in the Frontline Gaming Network, and it's a challenge, but at the same time, really exciting for someone like me. So, Champions of 40K, prior to that 40K game changes, but now Champions of 40K has been running on Frontline Gaming for however long it's been, a couple of years, right?
Yep.
And now,
basically since you started the show, right?
Yeah, since I started the show. And it's always been, so if you subscribe to the Frontline Gaming Network, my podcast would automatically appear in your feed whenever I uploaded a new episode. Well, now that's not going to happen because I have my own feed. I am still part of the family. I'm still part of, the little unit we have, Frontline Gaming, where we're all going to support each other and big up each other and help each other out, which is, thank you for having me on your stream. I really appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
But you need to go subscribe to Champions of 40K. I'm not on Apple Podcasts yet because
Apple takes a minute to approve.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating. But we're on Spotify. You can get us there, and pretty much whatever other platform you use to listen to your podcasts. If you just go to Champions of 40K, easy to find. So hit subscribe, and you'll get all of this season's podcasts of Champions, and then I'm currently working through and uploading a best of series of all of the game changes episodes, rebranding it as Champions, redoing the little intros and outros and some other stuff, and uploading a best of series. So
who would make the best of series, Steve? Who's the best out there that you've had on?
Who's the best of the champions?
All of them are so good, right? But there are some that really stood out as fan favorites and also my favorite conversations. So the first one I've already uploaded is my chat with Lawrence Baker from Tabletop Tactics.
Yeah. Lawrence is a good guy.
The next one I'm going to upload is Rick Priestley, who's the guy that created the game back in like 1984 or 85. So Rick is a fascinating chat about the OG models and the OG systems of running the game, and then why he got out of it and what he does now. And Winters from Winters SEO is in
one
there.
of the original big content creators.
Yeah, Warhammer game, Wargamer Dave from War Games Live. No, that's Joe.
Yeah, but
I've got Joe in there too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know where Dave is from. My brain has just gone south on me.
Mini Wargaming.
From Mini Wargaming. Mini Wargamer Dave. That's the one.
Yeah.
So I'm holding a crochet stick. I don't know why.
Don't stop yourself.
Started crocheting.
Gesturing wildly.
That's your real passion. That's your real hobby.
Yeah. That's what I'm crochet little clothes for all my space wolves.
I mean, do they have pelts already? Hey, we got someone in chat you might know, Steve. Daniel Fox says he's excited for Warzone Wellington this weekend, and he's bringing the Noisy Boys.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, Daniel, it's going to be great to see you there. A shout out to we were talking about Scott and the latest the Rocky Mountain Open, the big event.
Yep.
In the last round, the two undefeated tables, Scott was playing against a Kiwi guy named Jamie Beaton, who went to LVO, had a great run at LVO as well. So Jamie is from New Zealand, and so I didn't know who to cheer for in that. I'll be honest. The wait for the Kiwi, I wasn't.
Now I need to know what Jamie's doing over here. Still, did he move
I have
to
go
the
on a
US?
side story with Jamie. Jamie comes to a lot of our events. I see him always, and he's so nice and so proper. And like he's not a very loud guy. He keeps to himself, but he always does so well. But at the Rocky Mountain Open, he showed up 5 minutes before the cutoff, or we were just going to disqualify him because the first day, I guess he woke up late or something, and he comes running in the door. Where's my table? And he's on a clock, right? Because if you're 15 minutes late, you lose your round and your opponent wins. And he immediately went in there and of course won his game and kept on going. And he promised me that he would be on time for Sunday. But yeah, he's such a good player.
He was late Saturday, not Sunday, when we had daylight savings time.
Yes, he was late before
I can understand the story if it was Sunday and he didn't realize that everything was an hour earlier.
Well, to be fair, in New Zealand right now it's 2:30 on Thursday. So
okay.
Yeah. So his timing's all out.
Yeah, he's all whacked. He's all messed up. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Anyway, back to Champions of 40K. Thank you for the opportunity to give it a wee plug. My next guest is John Lennon. We have a great chat. We talked directly about the big issue, which is how did he get the name John Lennon, and does it cause him much grief in his life? And were his parents just big Beatles fans, or what the hell is going on? So there's that issue, which I think a lot of questions we need to know. Address them. Yeah, all the things, right? Yeah. And Liam Dempsey's coming on the show with me, and we've got Brandon Grant coming back. He was one of my favorite chats from the first season of Game Changers, so I can't wait to catch up with him. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I'm really, really excited to talk to. And people from around the world and all that.
We're excited to hear more from you because you always have really good interviews. You're very well researched with your guests. If you ever watched the YouTube show Hot Ones?
No.
What is?
Oh my God! Have you guys not watched that?
No. What is this?
Okay, so just go to YouTube after you get done here. I don't know what your plans are, but now I know what you're doing. And you just put in Hot Ones, and it's literally an interview show that is a guy and a celebrity eating progressively hotter wings.
I've heard about this.
From like mild to 3 million Scoville. And you're like, okay, weird interview format, whatever. But people start freaking out so much because in the heat, they stop kind of doing their celebrity PR mask and start being honest and truthful. But also the dude has to have the world's best research team because he will find the most obscure fact about celebrities ever and question them about it when they're sweating bullets from eating hot wings. This was all to say that I really do feel like your interviews are the hot ones of 40K.
Oh, that's very generous. I do love, actually, I really enjoy doing the research because it does mean you get to find stuff and bring it up in an interview, and every single time people are like, "Wow, this has just gone in a direction I didn't think it was going to go," because you have that little tiny tidbit of information, and sometimes it takes ages, sometimes it just pops up really fast.
Yeah.
But usually, here's a tip for young players. Usually you'll get it by trawling through people's old defunct social media networks. Almost everybody has an old Twitter account that they forgot about. So I will find it, and I will find it.
He will find it. So
I have
if
a
you're an up and
particular set
comer,
of skills. I
yeah,
will find it, and I
if you're
will
an
kill it.
if you're an up and comer with dreams of one day being interviewed by Steve Joll, just to make sure to sanitize all your old social media platforms.
Go back and purge that stuff.
Yeah. And now I've got to explain to my wife why I'm Googling hot ones when I finish this.
It's YouTube. It's family friendly. They sell the hot sauces in stores here. It's legit. I promise. Chat's agreeing with me. Kelsey says that you're definitely on the same level as hot ones. So yeah.
Kelsey's a legend. The photographs Kelsey took at LVO, amazing. I've got to do a shout out to him.
They were quite good. Although I think Kicker said he hated them and didn't want to ever have Kelsey back.
Never again. No, the goal is to have Kelsey at every single one of our events, but unfortunately Kelsey lives in Hawaii, so logistically it's a challenge. But anytime Kelsey can be one of our events, he will get the full red carpet treatment. So Kelsey, I hope you're hearing this, man. So we'd love to see you at the next event.
Yeah. Anyone who lives in an island in the Pacific is okay by me.
We've got chat now talking about they're concerned about their old MySpace accounts.
No,
yeah. As I said, I will find it.
All right.
OJ Hook and I are coming for you.
Steve, somebody in chat reminded me of very important. Steve, somebody in chat reminded me of something very, very important to ask you, which I can't believe we didn't ask. Yeah, what is your favorite sugary breakfast cereal? We can't actually continue on with our podcast unless we have this information from you. Please don't say granola or bacon.
No, well, do you know what? I was on a granola kick for a long time, and I think inspired by you. But there's a cereal that you guys won't have it, I don't think. There's a thing here called Honey Puffs, which is like you probably got something similar with a different name, I don't know, but it's just puffed wheat and kind of like with a little honey on it to make it sweeter. But now there's something, Kiki, you're gonna lose your mind.
Let's hear it.
It's called Honey Puffs Oaty Crunch. They throw in some Oaty Crunchy granola with the Honey Puffs. And you've got the dream combo, and it's like, so that is not just my breakfast now. That's like an afternoon snack when I get
I like it.
Meckish, which is.
I mean, that sounds glorious. I will be on the hunt for searching eBay or Amazon to see if I can get an international bag of cereal.
I am going to post you a box of Honey Puffs Oaty Crunch because you need to try it. It might not be any good by the time it gets to you.
Shelf life on one of those boxes.
It doesn't make a difference.
And the postage from here to you is like, I don't know, 1,000 New Zealand dollars, but it's going to be worth it.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely not out of envy, but I too have a food related question now. My food related question is, what is your favorite baked potato topping?
Oh man, any kind of bacon, any kind of. That's a great question. What is my favorite? It's got to have just lots of bacon and chives in it. Bacon makes everything better, right? Just bacon by itself on top of a baked potato.
just all the
creamy deliciousness. Do you know? Sad but true story is a couple of years ago, just because of various old age issues, I had to go dairy free. I cannot eat dairy products anymore. And
I'm sorry.
As much as oat milk is delicious in cereal, there is no substitute for sour cream or cottage cheese or whatever you're going to put on your baked potato. There's just no. It's sad, and it also means chocolate is out for me. So that's
you are deprived.
That is a rough existence. All right.
There's blue cheese, no blue cheese. I'm a sad panda.
You're a walking dead man. You just don't know it yet, apparently.
Oh, man.
You've lost all the will to live losing dairy.
Wow, ouch, but true.
Well, Steve, the goal is to get you stateside. Seriously, anytime you can get you at any one of our events, obviously, I will have a limo pick you up from the airport, all right? I can't cover your flight here, but I'll cover your ticket and a limo ride, all right? So let's get you.
I'm going to hold you to that. That is 100%. That is 100%.
He will have a baked potato waiting, covered in bacon.
Baked potato with a lot of bacon.
Covered in dairy-free
I
whatever
really
you guys
just want,
have.
like, people bring people like kicker boxes of cereal at events. I really just want once someone to walk up to someone at an event and give them the baked potato with their topping of choice. Like, do you know how
that's
hard you have to work to get a baked potato with toppings at a random 40K venue? This ain't just bring a box of cereal in, boys.
I feel like anyone can do cereal, right? Anyone can post cereal from the far side of the world. Try posting a baked potato. There's your
Yeah,
challenge.
right.
That's
That is the challenge.
It's gonna have to be like an Uber Eats delivery from some steakhouse that has a side of baked potatoes. It's delivered to
Yeah.
you at the event. I got it.
Don't give them ideas on how to do it logistically, kicker. I want them to figure this one out. All right. Let's.
I want a box to arrive, and I want Seth to be, "What's in the box? What's in the
Oh God,
box?"
I saw it the other day. There's a service that you can order a potato with your friend's face printed on it.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I love the world we
You
live
would
in
use
right
the
now.
service for, but it
That is so
exists.
That is
So
so
we
good.
can get kicker potato.
I feel like we should carve Warhammer figurines out of potato and just have a whole potato army. That would be like the next thing.
Yeah, I don't know how long it would last though.
No, that's right. Well, how long it would
I'm
take.
pretty sure
Yeah.
in our general rules, we do not allow any part of the miniature to be edible. I think that's a thing from someone that used Doritos as basing material at one point. So
I have seen Marshmallow Peep Army before.
marshmallow peeps.
Yeah, it was like
Oh
a
my-
fantasy army where they had the one plastic model, which was like the Zinch spellcaster, and then the rest of the army was like gingerbread and peeps. Like he cast a bad spell, and just the whole army got turned into gingerbread and peeps.
Can we bring in Nicky D? He just shared something that's pretty critical to our conversation. Nicky D, can you hop in real fast?
Yeah, sure can.
I don't know.
So
Yeah, I just saw this message from you. Please explain.
this is exactly what Seth said it is. It is potatoparcel.com. And this is going to change what I do for birthdays, definitely Father's Day. This is definitely going to be used as a Father's Day gift, which is coming up. I'm not sure my mom will appreciate it in quite the same way, but oh boy, Seth,
Oh
this
man,
has
what have
completely
I done?
changed how this is completely changing how I've thought about gift giving.
I'm
That is
glad.
Stop
amazing.
whatever you're doing. Go to potatoparcel.com and change your life forever. So.
That is, as you said before, don't you love the world we live in? You can just, there's almost nothing that can't be done now just through the wonders of technology and communication and potato cooking.
And potato cooking. All right.
Steve,
let's get back
around.
to Champions of 40K.
Sorry, give that to me one more time. I
So let's
phased out
get
there.
back to Champions of 40K.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
anything
yes.
else on the horizon?
No, that's it. It's really just really wanting to focus on building champions again, and we've just got so many great people that I can't wait to talk to. All the best ofs, I think people are going to really enjoy hearing, because I think there'll be a lot of people that didn't catch Game Changers the first time around.
Yep.
Or and it's something for people who don't know, and I'm assuming there are an awful lot of people who don't know. My day job is as a radio host, so all of the champions interviews are recorded in my radio studio. So it's all like I like to think a reasonably high quality. I focus on like lots of editing and making it high quality and making sure that people can be heard clearly, and all of that sort of thing is kind of and I know you guys run a tight ship and have a great production, but I feel like having just the two people talking through a radio desk kind of makes a
it definitely has very, very good audio quality. And folks can look for news on your show where, perhaps? You got a Facebook page going right now?
Yep, Champions of 40K. It's all just, if you go to Facebook and look up Champions of 40K, or if you find me and friend me, I'll be posting through there. The Steve Joll on Instagram, and also just at championsof40k.com is where you.
And we will be posting updates as well on the FLG blog for you and the FLG community page.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it. I'm excited about the next phase.
I have one more chat update for you, Steve, before we move on. Lapscallion over at Twitch says that he tuned in just in time to see you. In a time-honored tradition, can we claim him as an Aussie?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh, there
Here
is
it is first.
there is such a rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. Actual New Zealanders claimed
Yeah.
by Australia include Russell Crowe. For a little while there, we were like, fine, you can have him, but we want him back now. Um,
Why do we
there's a
want it back
dessert,
now?
a cake/dessert that people serve at Christmas called pavlova, which we created. It's documented, but Aussies claim
Oh,
it as their
wow.
own. There's a band called Crowded
Wow.
House who were very popular in the like 90s and early 2000s. Aussie just anything with a even New Zealand did really really well at the Olympics last time around, got a bunch of gold
Yeah.
medals, and for a little while we were doing better than Australia. And a news organisation in Australia posted Australasia, which includes both countries, Australasia killing it at the Olympics. We were like, hold
Oh,
on
all right.
one
So,
second, that's not
use the
okay.
Australasia definition when it helps.
It's like if
Oh, that's
Canada
so
was
funny.
doing super well, American news organizations going, North America killing it at the Olympics and just trying to claim it. And New Zealand is very much the little brother in this
That sounds a
rivalry.
lot
We
like
have
a shtick my dad would pull, where it's like when the dog was behaved, it was his dog, and when the dog was
yeah,
misbehaved, it was my dog.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
We love Aussies. We have a lot of friendly banter. We have a lot of sports rivalry. They almost always beat us, except in rugby union, where our All Blacks are pretty good. But I don't know if you've heard of the All Blacks, but that's our
I,
national
I have.
rugby team. Yeah.
I have.
Anyway,
Actually, I think I heard about it from you.
probably. I do like to be ambassadorial, if that's a word. I feel
Yeah.
like we're talking about everything but 40K right
Yeah,
now.
kind of.
Let's keep Steve in. Steph, take us away with the tournament update. Oh no, we got some the biggest and the best. Steve,
We
feel
do.
free to chime in. We
We
want
do.
your
Yeah.
your
So,
thoughts.
update on the biggest and the best war boss. I'm going to a GT this weekend. It's called the Battle Ready Wargaming's Major Mayhem. But kicker, I've switched armies to golf.
Wait, what?
To golf orcs.
Okay, you're saying orcs. Okay, just chat.
Still on
Okay, don't
orcs.
do that to me.
I'm
Don't-
still on
don't do that
orcs,
to me. That's
but
not cool.
after my latest conversation with Steven, wanted to try Goffs out at an event, so we're taking some Goffs. We're still trying a no rig build because I don't know that rigs are going to hold up in the 30 melt-a-gun meta that some space wolves are running around with.
Mr. Space Wolf player here.
Yeah,
You
so
can get a lot more melter than that. It's just
I think it's every melt-a-gun that every space wolf player owns. So yeah, I'll be going to that event this weekend, so you can keep an eye on me and see how I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll be back here next week telling you how I did. In other news, GW put out a meta watch. They did announce that they'll be doing another balanced data slate after Adepticon. Adepticon is next week, so we should be looking for it. Ooh, excuse me. Sometime after that. They called out Dark Angels and GSC as being a little overtuned, while Death Watch and Thousand Suns needed a bit of a boost. So it's interesting that they're keeping an eye on these things and seeing how they can adjust them. I'll be interested to see how they adjust Space Marines, because you, on one end of the spectrum, you have Dark Angels at overtuned, and on the other end, you have Death Watch at undertuned. So
Yeah.
those are all still
Steve,
kind of out of the
do
same
you
book.
see this same thing in New Zealand? Do you see Dark Angels really performing well, consistently?
I've got a freaky number for you guys. You're not going to actually believe this. So we've got this event coming up this weekend. It is, and as I mentioned, it's an official qualifying event. Whoever wins this goes straight to Melbourne to the big regional finals, and then from there it's straight to Atlanta to the World Champs of 40K run by GW. So our event has a GW supplied trophy and prizes, and so it's a reasonably big deal. We got 40 players coming. There was another big event in another city, which kind of chewed up some people as well. But we got 40 players coming. Of the 40, are you ready?
Yeah.
11 custodies.
Oh, wow.
Custodies.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a surprise.
11 custodies. Two Dark Angels players, one of whom I'm going to call out, Sean Sullivan, who's a buddy of mine and a teammate of mine. He would have to be with his Dark Angels, I think, however many billion Terminators. He's got to be the favorite to win it. He's a top player in the country. His Dark Angels will be very hard to get past. He's the guy who's going to be.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on Joll over the weekend to see how he does.
Yeah.
But kicker, Steve and Nicky, I believe that is all we have for the evening. Do we have some final thoughts for the evening?
I'm honored to have Steve Joll in the front line of, front line. Like, that's huge. Singles from the front line, having Steve Joll, like, geez, Epic.
Yeah,
So thank you so
yeah.
much for joining us, Steve, this time.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll all be in the studio using appropriate mics and whatnot in the future next time around, not in the hotel room in the middle of nowhere. But Seth, what are you thinking?
I just really want to thank Steve for coming on again. We really appreciate having you. Don't forget to check out Champions of 40K on their Facebook page, website, anywhere you can find their podcast aggregated. Eventually, Apple when they decide to get it on the program. And Steve, you're always welcome back on whenever you want to come chat and tell us more about how Space Wolves are underrepresented and underpowered.
Well, I really appreciate it. And I do want to say, James Workshop, if you're listening, that Scott Rumpel and Brad Chester are not representative of the rest of the Space Wolves world. We really are not doing very well. If you take those two guys, and Hunter and Bam, and, well, if there's about 10 guys, if you take them out of the equation.
Take him out.
You and Joe from War Games Live just need to start a coalition to kind of start, campaigning to let Space Wolves keep going.
Please don't touch the wolves in the balanced data slate, which is coming out soon. Leave them be.
Hey, so Steve, big question for you. Yeah, I mean, you just said it there. Leave the wolves alone. Are you gonna parody some other great '90s, 2000s rock song into some theme to protect your space wolves? And maybe for those who don't know, can you share your special song about Arcs of Omen? We can't finish the show without talking about this.
I don't know how legally what I'm allowed to do with it. I just did it because I thought it would be funny. It's something I do on the radio a lot, is parody songs. And I did one for LVO a couple of years ago where I redid My Way, the song My Way, the old Frank Sinatra number. And that got a good response, so I decided to do another one. So, yeah, Creed's Arms Wide Open became Arcs of Omen. I'm never going to say no to doing another parody song just because I quite enjoy doing that.
I think you could do In the Arms of the Angel, but like In the Arms of the Cyberwolf or Cherub.
Right. If you have ideas for Steve Joll to parody his song, reach out, please. Tell us in chat, shoot us an email, find him on Facebook.
Grim pointed out that it did demonetize us instantly when we played that video.
That's the problem, right?
That's how good of a cover you did. Hey, Kicker, before we go, Hex Fleet Virals, which is another YouTube channel, popped on to say thanks for running an amazing time at RMO. And that guy in real life is Nick Winker.
And Nick, hey, thank you so much. Great job at the event this weekend, man. You rocked, and thank you for representing Utah and bringing so many of the Utah crowd out to Denver, man. Awesome. Guys, Rocky Mountain Open is happening again next year, I promise, and the year after that, and probably the year after that, looking at a multi-year
contract. As long as the state will have him.
Yeah. As long as the state will put up with us. So thank you so much. Seth, why don't you take us out, man?
All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night.